Ren Carothers, and I am happy to be standing next to Terry Finley of West Point Thoroughbreds. Behind us, we have their Breeders' Cup Juvenile prospect, decorated Invader. Hi, he's at 4-1 on the morning line. Let me ask you, Arizona's come over for Aiden O'Brien. This horse has been button heads with Pinatubo. I mean, what is this your biggest competition, you think?
Well, I think he is. I knew he drew the 12-hole, but I watched a couple of those races that he ran against all those good horses over there. And, you know, they're a big force to be reckoned with as they come over from Europe. But, you know, I'd like to think we're going to be in there with a shot as well.
What attracted you to this horse in particular at the sales?
Well, I think back to the September sale at Keeneland, and it was at the end of, I don't know, day 4 or 5, and I just remember that, you know, the group talking about the Declaration of War up on top of the hill. Joe Migliori and my daughter Erin, we all said at the same time. He's a really athletic colt, and I think more and more people in the U.S. are really starting to look at grass pedigree. So
this is a horse that you could point toward the new Triple Crown series for the turf horses.
Absolutely, and you know, you think about it. You know, the success that we've had with that Triple Series, and I thought it was great. You know, you look at the amount of money that we give away as an industry to 3-year-old colts on the dirt in the first part of the year, and you say that part of the year is exciting, but I think the concentration, I think to a certain extent, got out of balance. So I really appreciate the fact that they're taking care and they're offering a lot more money than they have on the turf side. I think that's going to help everybody in the breeding industry and on the ownership side. So I think it's a win-win.
So you bought him as a yearling. What were your first impressions once he finally got under saddle?
Well, I think back, and I think he was in the pack. You know, we sent him to Eddie Woods in September, and Eddie breaks about 300 horses a year or thereabouts. So I can't tell you that he stamped himself early, but I remember it was about April 1st. We talked to Eddie every week, and I could sense that he was starting to become more optimistic, and I think he started to like this horse a little bit more. So we sent him to Christoph right about the beginning of the June, and it took about 3 weeks. And I called Christoph, and he said, that colt you sent me, the Declaration of War colt, acts like it can run. And I think on the Christoph side, that says a lot because he doesn't tout horses. So I felt pretty good all summer, and I figured we'd have some fun with him at Saratoga.
That's so exciting that he was ready that early. I mean, to be so precocious, that tells me that he must have a really good mind on top of the ability.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that comes up. He shipped to Canada, and he was great up in Canada, and he shipped in here across the country. And he's a 2-year-old, but he's taking everything in, and all the signs are coming out there very well. But I will tell you, I say it every year, that there are about 150 camps that are feeling optimistic and bullish on their horses as they get ready to run in the Breeders' Cup. And I will tell you, that's exactly the way it should be.
And this is just for my own petty curiosity. Declaration of War, as we said, obviously accomplished in Europe, but he came over here and ran so well in the Classic. Do you think this is a horse, based upon the works we've seen too, that maybe down the road we might see him on dirt?
I think so. I think everybody that runs in this race, the 2-year-old turf race, I think they're thinking about the first Saturday in May. It's always in the back of your mind when you have a good athletic horse. So of course, I can tell you that what our focus is. Our focus is on the Juvenile Turf on Friday, but it's always running through. They have us. With that Kentucky Derby fever, they have us, lock, stock, and barrel. And I don't fight it anymore, but I think that I do know that's somewhere down the road for us.
Well, it's definitely not unprecedented to see a Kentucky Derby winner come off the turf.
Yeah, I think you look back, the last 6 or 7 years, and you're seeing exactly that. So I think that bodes well for all of us as we look at the sales and we breed horses, and the fact that there are a lot of horses that are going both ways, so to speak. And I think that's a positive, especially on the ownership side, because we all know it's a tough endeavor to make money with and to be successful. So I think the more opportunities that we give to the end users, the better it is for everybody in the business.
Well, Terry, he is absolutely beautiful. He's already accomplished. It looks like he's ready to throw down and fight.
He is ready to invade somebody.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we're going to see if he's going to wage war in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.